So we want to help Africans who are helping themselves.
The problem for President Kagame is that this incident is tarnishing his reputation, because until now he'd been seen very much as, by the international community, as the man who'd held Rwanda together, who'd brought Rwanda forward after the 1994 genocide. Now, with this trial underway, in the manner under which it's been taken, that could all be looked upon very differently. I spoke to President Kagame in Kigali last week.
We say to Paul Kagame, stop this nonsense of kidnapping people who disagree with you.
I want to make a clarion call to my brother and the president of Rwanda not to engage in what he's trying to do of a modern slavery. President Paul Kagame is one of the respected leaders in our continent. But what he's doing with the United Kingdom, saying there will be an exchange of immigrants from United Kingdom to Rwanda, and then they will give him money. That is a modern exchange of slavery. It reminds us of painful times of slavery. And President Kagame, we are making a call for you to relook into that decision. You cannot exchange immigrants, who majority are Africans and blacks, for money. Our people can no longer be for sale. No one must ever think that for a second I can trade a human being. We are making a plea. If there is a home for those migrants, President Kagame, go and fetch them in the United Kingdom and bring them to Rwanda for free. Let us not do what the colonizers want us to do. UK has never respected us, and it will never respect us, but it is our leaders who allow these people to do what they are doing. Those of you who are relatives of King Mswati in Swaziland, you must tell him you will never know peace for as long as there is no democracy in Swaziland. The EFF is going to fight until the people of Swaziland realize their freedom. We are not free as long as Swaziland is not free. The day Swaziland becomes free, we will be free. The day Swaziland celebrate its Freedom Day, we will also celebrate our Freedom Day. When you say freedom for you, what about the people of Swaziland? Remember, the people of Swaziland fight alongside the people of Swaziland because we are Swaziland, and Swaziland is us. We are one thing. ZANU-PF has destroyed what was a promising land of Zimbabwe, and the current leader of Zimbabwe is clueless like the South African leader. They are the same like they are twins. So the people of Zimbabwe, we want to make a plea. Please, when you are here in South Africa, don't worry, you are at home. But when there are elections at home, go there in your numbers. Go and vote and remove that nonsense that is happening in Zimbabwe, and come back if you want to come back. You cannot just fold your hands. The people of Zimbabwe must rise here in South Africa and go and vote for a proper government in Zimbabwe. If they want to come back, they are welcome, no problem. But let's help each other so that there is a proper government in Zimbabwe, and we'll bring a proper government in South Africa. We become one big family. Let's not be comfortable and think, no, all is well as long as we are in South Africa. Let's not forget, as Zimbabweans, that we've got a duty at home to deliver a progressive government that will respect human rights, that will make sure the economy of Zimbabwe grows, that will make sure it defeats poverty and unemployment. Because a progressive and developing Zimbabwe is a solution to the problems of South Africa. We need to protect our women because they are being killed, they are being raped in their own households where they are supposed to be safe. This freedom will never be celebrated by any woman because South Africa has declared war against women. Freedom means that we must all be equal, and therefore the question should be, are we equal? If the answer is no, therefore there is no freedom. Freedom means equality, not only of gender, between black and white. And you need to ask the question, are black people and white people equal? If the answer is no, therefore there is no freedom. Because equality will mean that we must own the land of South Africa equally. We must own the economy of South Africa equally. But the way things are, we do not own more than 10% of the land of our ancestors. Our land is owned by those who came here as visitors, and then they now impose on us the so-called freedom. When the revolution started in South Africa, we never demanded to vote. The revolution was started by the land question. It was not started by voting. Because once we owned the land, voting was an automatic thing. Now they give us some useless passerby thing called voting, and they say you've got what you have been fighting for. No one went to prison for us to vote. They went to prison for us to reclaim the land and own the land. Once you are the owner of the land, what is voting? It's automatic. Let's go and spread the message of African unity, because the unity of Africa is a unity of black people, and the enemy doesn't want to see black people united. The unity of Africa offends them. Therefore, we must make sure that we unite the continent of Africa, and the unity of Africa does not threaten us. It actually makes us to grow and become a better continent.
Julius Malema, the leader of the economic freedom fighters in South Africa, is a vocal proponent of African unity. His views on this topic are rooted in a desire for a political and economically integrated Africa, free from neocolonial influence and capable of self-determination. Malema often references the legacy of Pan-Africanism, a movement that aims to unite all people of African descent. He draws inspiration from historical figures like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and Thomas Sankara, who championed African unity and self-reliance. He believes in the solidarity of African nations to resist neocolonialism and imperialism, stressing the importance of a united front against external exploitation. Malema advocates for the control of Africa's natural resources by Africans themselves. He argues that unity is essential for leveraging the continent's vast resources for the benefit of its people, rather than for foreign exploitation. He calls for economic collaboration between African countries, including the creation of a regional market, common trade policies, and joint infrastructure to boost intra-African trade and development. Malema supports the idea of a more integrated political structure for Africa, potentially leading towards a United States of Africa. This will involve stronger continental institutions and greater political coordination. He believes in the development of common policies on issues such as defense, foreign affairs, and economic strategies to ensure that Africa can speak with one voice on the global stage. Malema emphasizes the importance of fostering a strong African identity, free from remnants of colonial mentality. He advocates for promotion of African languages, cultures, and traditions. He stresses the need for educating young Africans about their history and potential, empowering them to take an active role on the continent's development. Malema is critical of foreign interference in African affairs, whether political, economic, or military. He argues that a united Africa can better resist such interference and assert its sovereignty. He is skeptical of international aid and debt arrangements that comes with strings attached, advocating instead for self-reliance and mutual aid between African nations. Malema supports the free movement of people within Africa, arguing that the colonial era borders are artificial and hinder the continent's unity and development. He advocates for policies that promote integrations and reduce barriers between African countries, facilitating easier movement for trade, education, and employment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.